a pop-up right as I go live here. Hey, everybody. I'm Johnny Hemberger. I'm the YouTube manager here at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. I am going to give you a sneak peek of our brand new permanent exhibit, Matter in Motion. It's really cool. Now, I'm not a physicist. I am not a chemist or whatever ist that I am. I'm like most of y'all probably coming into here, just kind of learning about chemistry, learning about physics, learning about matter in motion. So let's go check it out. I'm gonna flip the camera around here. And if anyone's watching, I will try to answer questions. Of course, the camera doesn't flip around as I need it to flip around. So if there's any chat going on, any comments that might happen, here's Sammy, our PR guy. But let's go into the hall. And if you have any questions in the comments, if anything pops up, I will do my best to answer it, to maybe show you some things. Now, the point of this live is just to kind of wet your whistle, give you a sneak peek of Matter in Motion. This hall is a permanent exhibit. So it opens to members tomorrow. What is tomorrow? March 8th, Friday, March 8th. And it opens to the general public on Saturday, March 9th. So just a couple days open to the public. And since this is a permanent exhibit, it is included with general admission. You don't need to buy a separate ticket to come explore Matter in Motion. You just buy your general admission ticket at the front and you come in and can explore this wonderful exhibit. So as it happens, we're next to one of the coolest things, I think, in this exhibit. It's one of my favorites. This is a demonstration of a black hole. But this display is actually curved inwards. I don't know if you can kind of tell in the video here, but there's an actual hole in the middle of that display that the display falls into, that the graphics fall into. So it's a physical representation of a black hole in the accretion disk and the center of mass and all that good stuff. I'm not a physicist, I'm not an astrophysicist. This is something to explore in more depth as you come to the Hall of Matter in Motion. Wow. The spectral scope, that's really cool. What's going on in here? Looking out at space. Now, I do know some basic astrophysics in regards to blue shift and red shift, whether a galaxy or a star or a celestial body is moving away from you or closer to you. If a celestial body, like a galaxy, is moving towards you, you get a blue shift, a more narrow wavelength. It appears more blue in color. If it's moving away from you, you get the red shift, a longer wavelength, more in the red spectrum. So that's how, when you're looking through a telescope, when you're watching things about astrophysics, if a galaxy or a star or whatever looks more red or blue, that can be a good indication of how far away it is from you, or if it's moving towards you or moving away from you. Quarks to quasars. That is quite the scope in difference in size and mass. I sure hope y'all can hear me. I do have my microphone hooked up, so hopefully y'all can hear what I'm saying. I guess I'll have to check this when I look back at the live. There's John D., senior videographer. Jill, manager of our socials. What are you getting, some Dance Dance Revolution going on here? Break dance, do a spin, and like stop on your head. Something like that. Let's keep walking around because this hall is massive. Ooh, I keep finding things that I want to do. Y'all have seen this on office desks. The transfer of momentum, transfer of energy. But this is very big. Let me put on the tripod here. Actually, I got this thing hooked up to a tripod so I can actually show you kind of a wide shot of me actually doing it. So if you bear with me for just a second, I want to show you this machine in action. Let me tilt my gimbal down a little bit better. Oh, this is going to be cool. This is going to be cool. All right, so bear with me. Here we go. I'm coming in from the right side of the screen. Each of these balls, I don't know exactly how much these weigh. A few pounds. It's like a bowling ball in weight. Not a 15-pound ball, I don't think. But here, let's see it. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. You know what? I'm gonna play with this for a second because there might be something that I like to do. See, I was gonna do that. I'm tinkering with it. I'm on Facebook Live, or not Facebook, YouTube Live right here, giving a live demonstration to kind of walking through the hall. So yeah, I might be grabbing you later to show us some stuff. All right, so I'm gonna try an experiment here. I'm gonna do 2 at a time, but I'm gonna do the outsides. Oh, I'm 40 years old and my leg is cramping. Welcome to 40. All right, so here are these 2. I'm gonna try to go from each side and let them go as equally distanced as I possibly can, and let's just see what happens. What do y'all think is gonna happen? Do you think they're gonna more or less bounce away equally as well? That's what I think is gonna happen, but let's see how accurate I can get it. Ready? Let's do it. It worked. They're instantly transferring the energy through the balls and right back to each other. That is awesome. Now, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm a geek, and geek is a good thing, which means I like to tinker with a lot of things, which means I'm gonna be spending a lot of time in this hall. Even though I'm an employee of the museum, I'm gonna be spending a lot of time in here. A lot of content is gonna be coming from these halls. I'm gonna do 4, and this unlucky guy in the middle is gonna bear the brunt. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3. Woo! And I'm kind of happy. I'm happy that this center ball isn't actually crushing, because I was kind of afraid after I let go that it might dent the center ball. But no, that's awesome. You know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna pull 3 of them back, and I promise I'll move on to other parts of the hall in a second, but I like to tinker with things. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think that 3 at a time, I think that this center ball is gonna go with wherever the transfer of energy is. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 3, 3, 3, 3. Awesome. Okay, all right. I could do that all day. That is so satisfying. That's almost like ASMR right there. Let's see if we had any comments going on. I don't see any right now. So let's keep walking through the hall. Let me show you my beautiful face. You don't want to see my beautiful face, but just to show you, for those of you just joining, I'm Johnny Hamburger. I'm the YouTube manager here at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. Getting my bearings here. This is a brand new hall. This space in the museum was closed. You know, it's kind of the entryway from the Glacial Hall, kind of this main hall of the museum that you kind of walk into. You have malacology up there. This whole section was closed. This makes its way over to the pendulum, but it's been closed for a long time. And now it's open again, open to members on Friday and open to the general public on Saturday. And I'll mention again as I turn the camera around here that this is a permanent exhibit. Why did it zoom in on me? Hey, my teeth clean? This is a permanent exhibit, so it is included with general admission. You don't have to come here and pay a separate price for a separate exhibit. It's just included. And my goodness, y'all, is this exhibit amazing. I said I just wanted to give y'all a sneak peek, but I'm gonna be here for a minute. This is fun. Can I lift this baby grand piano? So we got a series of pulleys and ropes here to kind of demonstrate the transfer, the distribution of mass across different fulcrums and focal points. But let's see, how much does this piano weigh? I'm not seeing it. I'm on the spot doing a live here. I don't want to spend too much time on how much the piano weighs, but it weighs as much as a baby grand piano. Maybe as I'm lifting it here, I'll be able to tell you. So, all right, let's pull on this cable and see if I can lift the grand piano, baby grand piano, with one hand. So let's pull on this and see what happens. My 3-year-old would say, "Daddy, you're so strong." I lifted it. See, now I'm gonna let go of this rope and look at the leg of the piano go back down. Don't want to get myself rope burned. There you go, it's back down. Wow. So I read a little graphic on here as I was kind of pulling. There we go, 400 pounds. This piano weighs 400 pounds. And I just hulked it with one hand. Up about 2 or 3 inches. Oh, that's so cool. Let's move on to a different part of the hall. And again, I see maybe 1 or 2 comments have kind of rolled in down there. If you want to see something in the hall or have a question, I will do my best to answer it. This hall is new to me also. But yeah, let it rip in the comments if you have any questions that I might be able to answer. I'm going to find an expert here in a second to kind of show us around. Join the dark side. Don't really. It didn't work out well for anybody who's joined the dark side. What is this? Neutrino hunt. Awesome. Okay, I think I got my bearings here. What is a chemistry hall without a periodic table? Let's walk through the pendulum, I believe this is. Yeah, pardon me. Let's go through. Here's the pendulum. You're good. How close are we to a peg falling? We got 5-6 minutes on that side. Ooh, that's close. That's a couple minutes. What do y'all think? Should I wait here for a peg to fall? Do y'all want to see a peg fall? Let's see how close this is. Ooh, that's close. That is close. I think there's a couple more minutes on here. A couple more minutes. Oh, that's so close. That's so close. You know what? This video, since I'm live, is going to drag on a little bit if I just wait here. Let's do our best to come back and check on it and make sure that we can maybe actually get a peg fall. Let me get the zoom. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't do that. Stop it. So for those curious, what's happening here? I'll get the video right. Find my way through the curtain here. Maybe if I switch it around just for a second, you'll get my face for a minute. But let me switch this back around. For those of y'all curious, this phone that I'm using right now, this is a little humble brag here, but it's the the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. So I think it's doing pretty well. I'm using the actual YouTube app right now, so I don't have full control over the image. It's all auto. But anyways, geeky, pedantic stuff out of the way. This display, I want to show you. So guts and toes, theory of everything. TOES stands for theory of everything. This display, I was asking about it earlier. Hopefully none of y'all are sensitive to strobing effect. It is more pronounced on the video, I assure you. This is one of those spinning propeller displays. You can see the hub has spinning. I love that. This entire hall makes me want to jump on Amazon and just go buying a bunch of stuff that my wife will be very surprised to see show up at the door. Magnifying this, the nanotechnology material, meta materials. Ooh, what is this? Look through all these magnifying glasses. That's kind of sick. That is really cool, actually. If any of you care to comment that you can hear me talking, that would help out because I don't know if y'all can hear me. So I'm going to continue on as if I am being heard. Engineering the everyday. So awesome. Prosthetic leg. And these are all transparent displays. I wonder, yeah, see how it's kind of transitioning like that? Transparent display. I am geeking out. I'm just geeking out about the actual technology that goes into these exhibits. Often you think about, the people who design these exhibits, yeah, they've got a background in theater and and set design and all that, obviously. So it's always baffling to me. The attention to detail, the craftsmanship, the tolerances even of meeting two pieces of material together in such a pleasing way with that you don't have a bunch of jagged edges. It's just, there's true craftsmanship and craftswomanship that went on in here. I wish I could line up all the designers of the exhibit and show you and have them introduce themselves because they are truly amazing, amazing people. This is a subject that is kind of close to my heart, quantum computing. And I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but y'all think AI is big? Wait till AI meets up with quantum computing. We might have a Skynet situation on our hands. But no, it's the future of quantum computing and the future of AI is very exciting. We'll see what humans do with it. Here's an exhibit on graphene, stronger than carbon fiber. Here's Joy doing some interactive things and the chemistry of DNA. Are you creating dinosaurs?
I don't know. the anatomy of an animal cell.
Ooh. Well, I'll check back with you, see if you've created a stegosaurus walking around here, Jurassic Park style. Look at the big brain here. I'm guessing that this. So we're in the biochemistry section of the
Where is consciousness
matter and motion.
We don't know.
Where is consciousness located? These are
You
deep
might
questions.
expect consciousness to be in the cerebellum, the most tightly packed structure,
Wow.
but it has little to do with it.
So we're walking into the brain here. Ooh, look at that. Hope I still have Wi-Fi signal inside this brain. It's getting a little choppy. It'll be better as I exit. Excuse me. We're live, and I just hiccuped. Y'all know what a hiccup is? Where you burp and hiccup at the same time? All right, let's watch these come out. Perfect timing. Holy moly. Woo, camera work. Awesome. That's really cool. What is this? What is this representing? Synchrotrons? Cool. All right. So, let's do a little demonstration. I'm gonna put a mic on Harry, right? Good, yeah. Let's do a little, we're live on YouTube here. And I hope more people start tuning in because we're gonna do a cool live demonstration. I don't know exactly what that demonstration is gonna be yet, but I'm gonna put a mic on Harry. Now I'm turning this microphone, the second microphone, on live as we're live here on YouTube, so hopefully it syncs up and you can hear. But yeah, let me pop this on here.
Yep, go ahead and pin me and then I'll explain what we're doing.
Yes, sirree.
All right, cool.
Okay, let her rip.
Cool. So this is actually a physics demonstration that I have. This is about energy. So the rule with energy is you cannot create or destroy it. You can only change its form. So we're actually going to be taking heat energy and changing it directly to sound energy. Now, normally we might not think of that as being a possibility, but if you think about like your everyday life, you actually hear it a lot when you're cooking, whenever you have like a fire outside during the winter, you're hearing the popping sounds from either food or like the fire as it's burning. We are getting sound coming from that heat. But this one's gonna work slightly differently than how those are. So I have this pipe right here, and in the bottom of this pipe, there's actually a screen. If I heat this screen up correctly, it's gonna make the air move through the pipe and we're gonna get a sound from it. So I'm gonna go ahead and light our burner.
Careful now, we're doing science here.
Right, we're getting there.
I love the overhead display in the back that it shows.
Yeah, so
y'all
it's showing part of it, but this is gonna be way more of like a hopefully hear it one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and start heating it up. And we're hearing a little bit of like that whistling sound, but that's not quite the sound we're going for yet. And as it's getting hotter, and I'm looking at the bottom and looking basically at like what color that screen is to know how hot it's getting. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna turn the fire off. And so as that screen is heating up that air, hot air is less dense than cold air. It's sending it up through the pipe and making a sound. When I have it sideways, you don't get a sound because the air can't travel upwards. So when I turn it like this, where I'm blocking it, not allowing it to go up like it's wanting to. But now you'll notice, now it's not making a sound.
Can I name this real quick? Can I call it the physics flute?
Sure.
The flute of physics?
Sounds good. And so now you'll notice now it's not making a sound anymore. That's because the screen in the bottom is no longer hot enough to cause that air to move through fast enough to get that sound that we've got going.
Very cool.
So yeah.
Got anything else?
Sure.
You don't have to. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're all good. That's literally my job. So give me just a second to move this out of the way, and then I'll pull something else up. Yeah, for sure.
So I wanted to explain real quick. Hopefully you can see me on camera here. Let me turn the camera around. These curtains are up. That's the pendulum over there through those curtains. These curtains, obviously, once the exhibit is actually open, those curtains will be removed. And you'll be able to see this demonstration lab, as it's called, as you're just kind of walking through the museum. So as you go by the pendulum, you'll be able to see different demonstrations going on here at the demonstration lab. But let's see another demonstration.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello.
What do we got going on here?
Right, cool. So this is one that most people have probably seen a version of, and it is a version of Elephant's toothpaste. But I'm going to explain what we've got going on. So right now I'm putting potassium iodide into this beaker. I'll explain a little bit more about what that's going to be doing in just a second after I explain more about a different chemical. But know that potassium iodide is going into this beaker. I'm also putting some soapy water into it as well. And then just for fun, I'm going to be putting a little bit of purple dye just to add some color to what we're going to be having come out
Can you
here.
do it like a chef? Can you do the little, the elbow? Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Oh, that might have been way too much. It's fine.
It's science.
That's what we do here. All right,
Yeah.
so the next thing that we're going to be using is hydrogen peroxide. Now, this is not like the hydrogen peroxide that you have at home. It's a lot stronger, but it is similar, but it's just this is a higher percentage amount. So this is like 30%. The stuff at home is usually 3 to 5%. But usually we use hydrogen peroxide, and we're cleaning cuts with it, right? And when you put it on a cut, you'll notice it starts to bubble. So what's happening is there's actually an enzyme in your blood that's causing that hydrogen peroxide to split, and it's making oxygen and actually a little bit of water. All right, so I'm going to put about 50 milliliters of that into this glass beaker.
50 or 50,000, whatever.
50. Because in just a second, and you're going to see it too, is that potassium iodide is basically going to act in that same way as that enzyme in your blood works with this hydrogen peroxide. So it's going to cause it to split, and we're going to get that gas as well as that little bit of water. So I'm going to go ahead and add this into here. Now I'm only going to actually add 25 out of our 50 milliliters into here.
Whoa.
There we go. And then that is our elephant's toothpaste. So what's happening is when you have something that goes from a liquid to a gas, it expands and takes up more space. So by me putting like 25 milliliters of that liquid in here, this is how much foam we got from that. So as we're getting that gas, it's getting trapped in that soap film from the soap, and that's how we're getting the bubbles. But additionally, you may have seen like a little bit of like a smoke or like a fog kind of happen. That is actually water vapor, condensed water vapor, like steam.
I was going to guess,
this is an exothermic reaction. It's actually off-putting heat. So like this beaker is actually really warm. Cool. Now you may notice it's stopped, and that is because for a reaction to continue, it has to have all of its components. If it runs out of something, it will not continue. And in our case, it ran out of hydrogen peroxide, which luckily I only used half of. So if I add more to it, and sometimes the second time takes just a little bit longer, but it then will continue. And now we're starting to run out of the dye, which is why we're getting like more of like the white bubbles versus like the purple bubbles.
I will give you whatever money I have in my pocket to take a bite out of those bubbles.
Ooh, so I wouldn't recommend that one.
Yeah,
because
don't do it.
Theoretically, that hydrogen peroxide should be getting used up, but if it doesn't fully get used up, it will actually, it has the capacity to like give you like a small like chemical burn on your hands. I myself have gotten it before. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not fun. I was taught how to avoid it / hey, if you feel a tingling on your fingers, wash your hands. And I've learned my lesson a couple of times, and so I'm all good, but not a fun thing to just play around with.
No, do not ingest hydrogen peroxide of any strength.
Yeah, that is our PSA for the
body.
day.
do not eat strange chemicals that you find in the cabinet.
All right,
for
cool.
sure.
Yep.
All right, Harry, thank you very much.
No problem. Y'all have a good day.
We'll be seeing more of Harry on YouTube
Yep.
in the future for sure. So if y'all are
Absolutely.
watching right now, thanks, Harry.
Yep, no problem.
Cool. If y'all are watching, make sure if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button because we got a whole ton of cool content already on here. We have hundreds of videos on HMNS YouTube. All sorts of fun YouTube shorts. Our YouTube shorts have been going off, y'all. It's been crazy. All right, let's see if I can find, oh, he's got my microphone. I would have straight up walked off without that.
No worries.
Thank you very much. Hopefully you didn't hear Harry toot while I had him mic'd up. I'm just kidding. All right, let's see if I can find, you know what? I'm gonna show you one last thing, because this live is going on, close to 25 minutes now. And this is supposed to just be kind of a sneak peek of the Hall of Matter and Motion. I want to show you the Alchemy Hall. This is something that I think is going to be very popular. Alchemy. It makes me think of the anime Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know, maybe some of y'all watching have seen that anime. But yeah, this is the history of alchemy. It's a recreation of what an alchemy, I don't know what you could call it, lab might have looked like years and years and centuries ago. So, you know what, straight up, all y'all watching right now, this little setup right here is 1,000 times better than my first apartment. 1,000 times better. There's not enough cockroaches running around here for it to be my first apartment. Okay, so let's walk back out to the center, or to the front of the exhibit here. One last kind of walkthrough as we start to wrap up this YouTube live stream. Vertical. vertical YouTube lives are a new thing, and we are definitely trying out. Let's spend time at the pendulum. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's actually what's gonna happen. Yes. Help me, Alicia. Help me.
This way, bud.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Good job.
Yes. Here's how I'm gonna end this live. I'm just going to leave it running on the pendulum because I know y'all might want to see a peg fall. So let's see how close we are. That one's a few minutes away. This one's a few minutes. So that one across is closer. And if y'all want to pop on the live and watch the pendulum fall, let's do that. So I don't know exactly when it's going to fall, but it is going to fall. And I want to make sure we capture it here on the YouTube live. I'm going to do something that only an employee is allowed to do and get in a little closer. And hopefully we can get a very satisfying click. Let me go to the other side actually so you can see it a little better. Whoop. I'm going to go right around y'all. Y'all are good. Y'all are good. Yes, the museum, Houston Museum of Natural Science. Check it out. Yeah, tons of fun stuff. All right, let's just leave it on this peg. You know what? Let me try to get a better angle on it. Here, I'm gonna get down here. And again, if you're just joining this YouTube live, we just spent, oh man, at least 25 minutes inside the new Hall of Matter in Motion, which opens to members tomorrow, Friday, March 8th. I'm trying to get out of the way of all the classes that are here today. So it opens up to members tomorrow, Friday, March 8th, and then it opens up to the public Saturday, March 9th, just in time for spring break. And I will reiterate again for anybody still here that it is included, Matter in Motion, the Hall of Matter in Motion is included with general admission. So you don't need to come in and buy a general ticket and then buy a special ticket to another exhibit. It's included with general admission. Now it's gonna be a few minutes before this peg falls, and I'm going to incorporate all my skills as a radio host to keep vamping and keep flowing with this stream of consciousness while we're doing the live here. For those of you who don't know, since we're just killing time here, I don't mean to plug my non-affiliated radio show, but it's called Geek Therapy Radio. It airs on KPRC 950 AM. And it's also a podcast, Geek Therapy Radio podcast. So if you're wondering where the useful or unuseful skill set came from to keep talking over and over and fill time, it's because I have, oh gosh, I've been in radio since 2009. And my father was actually a news anchor here in Houston. And I'm divulging this personal information here because I'm filling time before the peg falls. My dad, his name was Alan Hemberger, and he was a news anchor on Channel 13 alongside Marvin Zindler and Sheriff Fryer and all them from 1989 to 1999 before he moved on to the CW 39 and then eventually retired around 2009, 2010, and then sadly passed away in 2013. So I am carrying the broadcast flame here. And that's a little bit of my personal information. I am the YouTube manager here at the Houston Museum of Natural Science, and I also help produce the podcasts. So as we wait for the peg to fall, this is a good time to plug all of that. You can search for the Houston Museum of Natural Science or HMNS in your favorite podcast player and subscribe and listen to all the podcasts we've got on there. Science Bites, the Beyond Bones podcast, Meg's, the Sharks podcast. We have a Celestial Spectacle podcast all about the solar eclipses coming up. So yeah, follow all of our stuff, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, X. I still want to call it Twitter, but it's called X. We've got all of our socials. And yeah, man, I'm still just filling time here before this peg falls. I know that a lot of people are going to fall off at the end here because we are just filling time before this peg falls. We are still a few minutes away. Perhaps I should have ended the stream earlier, but you know what? I really want to see the peg fall, and I want there to be documented evidence that the peg really does fall. Again, for those of you who might just be joining the live stream here, I just did a 25-minute tour, at least, a sneak peek of the new Hall of Matter and Motion here at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. That opens to members tomorrow, Friday, March 8th, and then to the public Saturday, March 9th, just in time for spring break. It is included with general admission. You do not need to spend money on an extra ticket to an extra exhibit. It is just included with general admission, so you should come check it out. The hall is expansive, as you've seen. Maybe you could rewind this live stream here. The Hall of Matter and Motion is absolutely massive. It spans so much of the first floor of the museum here. It straddles on both sides the pendulum. Chemistry, matter and motion, physics, it all makes sense that the pendulum kind of is the focal piece, the cornerstone of the Hall of Matter and Motion. Oh, we're so close to that peg falling. So close. I'm gonna zoom in, y'all. I'm gonna zoom in on that because we are getting close. Getting close. Ooh, I'm gonna try to keep the camera as steady as I can and keep vamping here, keep plugging the Houston Museum of Natural Science on social media and YouTube. Obviously, you're watching it on YouTube, but if you haven't subscribed already, I highly recommend you do that. We also have tons of great podcasts. Just search HMNS or Houston Museum of Natural Science into your favorite podcast player, so Apple Podcasts, Spotify, of course. I like to use an app called Pocket Casts on my Android. Is Pocket Casts on Apple? I don't know. But Apple Podcast, I use Apple Podcasts all the time on my Mac devices, on my Apple devices. Just search HMNS or Houston Museum of Natural Science in your favorite podcast app and follow us, all those great podcasts. Myself and the podcast director of podcast, Emma Skloven, her and I write and narrate these podcasts. Emma is the head writer. She does all the research. Y'all, seriously, these podcasts, like the Beyond Bones podcast that we have renewing here very soon in the spring, and the King Tut podcast, the Sharks podcast, those were written and researched by Emma Skloven. And y'all, I'm telling you, they are research grade podcasts. Seriously, the amount of depth and detail is like you would not hear in other podcasts. That's the production quality that we put into our podcast here at the Museum of Natural Science. I produce podcasts coming from my radio background. As we wait for the peg to fall, yeah, I'm gonna plug the socials. Houston Museum. Oh, it's so close, so close. Houston Museum of Natural Science and all the socials. X, Facebook, Instagram. What else? I'm so focused on this peg falling here that I'm forgetting all our social. Snapchat, Pinterest, of course YouTube. As you're watching here, make sure you're subscribed to all that good stuff. Because TikTok. We have awesome content on TikTok. We also have awesome content on YouTube Shorts as well. But this pendulum's getting so close. So close. Sometimes when I walk past the pendulum, I kind of like make a bet with myself. Make a bet with myself, the over-under on when a peg's gonna fall. We are so close. Oh, come on. Ooh, it's wiggling. You can see it wiggling. What do you think? The next one? Y'all think it's gonna fall over this time? Oh yeah! Awesome. Oh gosh, my knees. My 40-year-old knees are hurting now. Come on. Whew. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh, my knees. Let's walk back to close out this live stream. Going back to the front of the Hall of Matter and Motion. It is hopping around here today, y'all. Just hopping. I gotta see how I can get across this traffic here. All right. Pardon me. All right, let's go back to the front. Let me turn this camera around so y'all don't have to see my beautiful face. Check out these glasses. Crazy. All right, let's turn it around. That's not turning it around. There we go. Look at this. This is the biggest Dance Dance Revolution pad ever. It's the entire periodic table. This is so cool. All right, so I'm gonna walk back out to the front and do a spin around here. Thank you all. Hey, Sammy. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. I hope you do come visit us here at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. Just a quick recap. Matter and Motion. Is it going to be backwards on the YouTube Live? I don't know. Matter and Motion opens to members tomorrow, Friday, March 8th. And it opens to the general public on Saturday, March 9th. I'm looking at my smartwatch right now to make sure that I'm getting the dates right. And once again, this is general admission. This is not a special exhibit that you need to pay an extra ticket for. This is included with general admission. So come get general admission. And also, it's a good plug. You can come to the museum for free on Tuesdays, 5 to 8 p.m. So after school, after work, you need something to do in the evening. Free Tuesdays, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. here at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. And this is included with Free Tuesdays. So if you want to see Matter in Motion for free, come on a Tuesday, 5 to 8 p.m., and you're good to go. But thank you so much for hanging out with me here on the YouTube Live. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. It has been great hanging out with you. I'll see these comments down here. One of them's retracted. Hopefully it wasn't anything too spicy. But thank you so much for hanging out. I'm vamping while I figure out how to stop the stream. So anyways, I'm Johnny Hamburger, the YouTube manager here at the Houston Museum of Natural Science, and I will talk to y'all next time. Thank you so much for hanging out. Come see us.